Life are able to win, they join Afrika Freaks on an 8-6 scoreline and will only be game score away from top 5.
Well, into the draft we go. Jace, gonna be the first thing banned away by bbq. Interesting.
Bit of a peculiar first ban. Linderung isn't a known Jace player in terms of our top rung here in Korea, but Jace priority this week. It's kind of joining the recent trend. Jace has been blind picked a lot of games, a good pick into Gnar, which is another dominant pick we're seeing a lot recently, so we'll see if this does affect the early Gnar draft on the side of bbq. I'm just kind of sitting back and wondering, are we going to see these blind pick Oriannas that are kind of infesting the drafts recently? I know that sounds like a strong word, but Orianna has so many matchups that can work against her. I'm surprised teams are valuing her right at the tippy top. Speaking of being valued at the tippy top, junglers here, the Nocturne, it started to fall away. Likely to just fall through the ban list at least. The Talia, though, bbq will ban on blue side.
Yeah, ban that away, so maybe not interested in picking that one up as a first pick priority here for Tempt. Or even Trick in the jungle, but Hanwha Life final ban will be the Rakan.
Zyrakan, a big duo recently, once again in the duo lane, not about the funnel like it was earlier in the season. So first pick has more ambiguity than it has in kind of weeks past. There's a lot of different areas you can go to. Zoe is already banned. Kindred priority has been recently on the down, but Trick has been one of our best Kindred players, so taking it away from Songwon, a big Kindred player himself, was the thing you first thought, but the Trundle priority is way up, and they say, hey, if you want to take the Kindred matchup, we'll deal with it with the Trundle.
Stock and Trundle rising after he made an appearance in that new Rise cinematic. Everyone just wants a piece of the troll, but might just be the Kindred going over to Songwon here for Hanwha Life Esports, but wait on it for now. We'll show that Tahm Kench, which is in that top 3 big picks for Key, but actually will be the Orianna being blinded into mid for Lava.
Interesting stat that I've just been able to look up. In the last 15 Trundle games, he's 12-3. That is an insanely high win rate for a first-round champion. And even in matchups like the Kindred, it's working out. The Orianna priority that I alluded to will be found here, but you have to think that Tempt is going to say, I'd love to return to that Azir, please. And it's certainly going to be available. Hanwha Life going to first round of support. They consider for a long time. They flash the Tahm Kench and then take the Shen, and now it seems all about the mind games between bbq and Hanwha, as the hover is already here for Trick.
It might just be, yep, Tahm Kench going to be locked in. So Ignar picking that one up for himself.
Give me that Azir, yeah.
Nope. Will be the Azir.
That's what I want to see. Bring it out here. Fun matchup.
Ready for some Shurima shuffling.
Yep, exactly. You can go very aggressive against Ori. You also have good trades in lane. It's not a hard counter lane per se, but a very good lane for the Azir. And this is becoming a very stock standard draft in the first round if we are to see the Ezreal draft here from Sangyun. Most played on the season. He started the season on the Awesome Dudes, but has digressed a little bit. They decide to flash the Ezreal again, another flash. And it seems like they will settle on the Kindred. So Sungwon is going to go hunting, but while this matchup originated as Kindred countering the Trundle, recently the Trundles have been running all over the Rift and running all over the Kindred.
It's been turning that matchup on its head. So goes for the Kindred. Nocturne yet again going to be abandoned by both teams, so no nuclear sub-comp here from Hanwha Life. And now it seems like they're just going to turn their focus over to Ghost, banning away that Varus so far.
Where the marksman setup is. If you want to go for a safe Ezreal, you could double ban Varus and Jhin, but also Ezreal can kind of persist through every lane, so there's not a huge insistence to have to ban against it. Clearly they're not too worried about Crazy's champion pool. I would consider banning the Cho'Gath, because that's been the one pick that's both statistically and by the eye test been a really central pick to bbq. Wait and see if Hanwha Life do consider that. And now it's just going to be the Camille ban coming out from the side of bbq.
Ezreal banned by Hanwha Life. They flashed this repeatedly. And now we'll go ahead and take that one away.
Maybe Vladimir priority. Both these champions
could just be mage bot lane.
Both these champions can build pretty happily into the Vladimir Sheen for the Ezreal, and then just lifesteal coming through for the Varus. But a bit peculiar. Could also just be an Ashe if they want to go conventional. They have a marksman in the jungle already with the Kindred, so something like a Vladimir is a possibility. Ends up being a coverage ban with the Cannon ban. We'll see if this means we'll see our first Mundo in a while, because he's been out of the meta this week.
but really about the chokeouts to the top. And Gnar also coming back through Cube.
Definitely.
Putting on a wonderful performance, a clinic perhaps.
Definitely a
you
good
could
way
say.
to advertise his world skin that was recently released. He made the big sellout interview, as you should. Speaking of
And
the
here
sellout
we
champion, the Gnar priority has been high. We've already said that a couple of times, and there we go. No QV skin available, by the way, guys. We're still on 8.13, so 8.14 is when the Samsung Galaxy World skins will be enabled, and of course the changes on 8.14. So feel good about the Gnar. The Cho'Gath can weather the storm. It's not quite canon, but it's fine into the Gnar. The Mundo is, of course, a Gnar counter, so it's a counter matchup for the Gnar.
Yeah.
So the Cho'Gath does get registered, so it is a lot of comfort here for bbq and stuff they've won on recently.
So last picks on both sides going to be for the bot lane.
Ooh. It's not going to be the Blitzcrank, of course. Tom Kench already locked in.
He always just flashes this one out.
Who's going to take Vladimir?
I mean,
Kind of
that
is
would be
the-
a very annoying lane in solo queue, Tom Kench Blitzcrank, but Ashe will be the final pick up here for Ghost.
All right. Marksman play for Ghost has been mostly on Vladimir duty this season.
And Rise.
It's not going to be Vladimir, it's going to be the Rise. So this is
Okay.
the one that's higher win rate coming through for Sangyun. What does that mean for the Orianna here? Are we going to see Orianna bot lane finally in the LCK? It's
You
been
know?
flirted with a million times. And also you have the Rise versus Azir. I think that Hanwha Life are going to go LPL first, but we'll wait and see. There's 20 seconds to find out.
Little bit more time to go ahead and flex this one around. We'll see if they want to put that in the bottom side of the map.
I've been baited so many times this week.
I mean, we know that Sangyun likes Rise and he's proficient on this pick.
Oh, we're going to do it.
But
Come on, I'm being baited.
3 more seconds.
How baited am I going to be?
1.
He's doing
And
it!
we're locked in. All right, Orianna going to the bottom lane for Sangyun.
All right.
It's going to be Rise in the mid for Lava versus that Azir.
Awesome. So Achilles, your front row for finally our first Orianna bot lane. Gives us a bit of an understanding of why you might early pick.
And here we are, more than a week later, back on Summoner's Rift. Feels good to return.
Ah, yes. More than a week later. Well, not
For
quite
me.
a week for me.
Not for you. It's been a couple hours since you got done.
Oh, we had a 2-0 in the second series. We didn't have 15 games to dream over 2 days. bbq Oliver's fans, big Lava fan on the side of Hanwha Life there. She's feeling a 2-0.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
Definitely, history does suggest that at some point Hanwha Life will win 2 games in this series. It has been very focused on Hanwha Life wins in the past, going over the 2017 and onwards match history here. We don't include the old Rocks Tigers days, only the newer
Why
Rocks
not?
Tiger days. Well, it turns out none of the players were the same, Achilles.
Yeah,
Also, the coach wasn't the same.
and the logo was different.
It's true.
It was all different. But now it's a different timeline. It's Hanwha Life instead.
It's an Orianna bot lane timeline as well. Pick that I've alluded to many times in the last week and a half, and there's been posture, there's been players I've spoken to on LCK teams saying, well, my coach doesn't really like it, well, we're not convinced on it, we don't have enough practice. Hanwha Life have been one of the few teams to be really quick to import, and this is kind of ironic when we have Ignar and Trick on the side of bbq, but they've been one of the few teams to play the Heimerdinger this season. They've played some other stuff. They were the first to do the funnel in the LCK, so they've clearly been playing around with the cool stuff. Someone, speaking of cool stuff,
Yeah, gonna
a
be
level
looking
2
for
gang.
a very early gank happening around here. That's going to be the lockdown for the Rune Prison. And Tempt doesn't think there's anything he can do. Last auto's not going to kill Lava. He's got that potion ticking. First blood going to be going over to Songwon. Dangerously close. Almost had that 1-for-1, but cannot quite kill off the Rise.
And this is the power that the flex of the Orianna to bot lane brings. Rise versus Azir ended up being a Rise favorite matchup as this meta developed when those 2 champions were the center of the meta, and it also means on-command hard CC for Kindred, a very strong ganking jungler from level 2 onwards. That's the flex they were able to provide. We saw the Rise, and that's what Kindred was provided, a good laned gank. The gank is successful. Nice execution by Hanwha Life.
No flash for Lava. So we'll see if Trick can try to take advantage of that. Tempt holds on to his, just has to burn out the heal.
Teams have gotten so good at playing defensive that Kindred hasn't been able to pull off early ganks in recent memory, and Trundle has been the one to make everything happen around the Rift, despite his lack of hard CC himself. It's the first time we're actually seeing the Trundle on the back foot Trundle isn't so good at turning lanes. He's very good at playing around advantages. So we'll wait and see if Trick's going to be able to pull off some cool moves. But so far, the first cool move, it was in the draft phase by Hanwha and in the game with that nice gank in the mid lane.
We'll see how it's going to develop as we go deeper. Obviously, the Shen and the Gnar both going to be excellent ball carriers for the Shockwave. I want to see a Realm warm in with the ball into that Shockwave. Hit 5-man, let's make it happen.
I don't know about leash ranges, but that does sound like a really fun thing to think about. You guys are wondering where this crazy Orianna bot lane came from. I already mentioned Y4. So he used to be one of the understudies to Uzi on RNG, moved over to LGD. He's played multiple games of the Orianna bot lane. Dissonance going to be able to get away from Trick. Theory behind it is that a lot of these bot lanes, Orianna can just make into a farm lane and do just fine there. And it does give you the ability to flex Orianna, a champion who's been running pretty rampant in the mid lane as well. So it's a nice little innovation. It's something the LPL's been doing first. The LCK takes notice. We'll wait and see if Sangyun can make it work. Because so far, his mage play on both the Ryze and the Vladimir this season has been complimented.
Well, you can see a bit painful here for Linderong so far in the top lane. Just getting chunked out. Keeping up decently well as far as the CS is concerned. But once Crazy hits that level 6 mark, this could be definitely requiring some jungle attention in the top side.
It's a matchup that most people think Gnar just walks over from the start, but actually it takes a lot longer for the Gnar to hit one finished item and also have enough points in his hyper to have threat on the high sustain of the Cho'Gath. So early levels actually Cho'Gath does very, very robustly and has kill pressure at 6, as you were mentioning, Kilios. So a lot of options here for Crazy, who is 4-1 on Cho'Gath on a team that, of course, has only won 8 games. So it's been a really big pick for them. He was about as big a Cho'Gath as you could imagine in his last couple of series. I believe against Afrika Freaks, he really popped off on the Titanic Hydra Cho'Gath. Not sure we'll see that here.
Tempt walks up. Through, about around the Scuttle Crab here. Songwon jumping in, gets one shot onto Tempt.
They're actually equal levels, so the Azir not being 6 means the threat was lower than expected. Just about Scuttle control between the Trundle and the Kindred.
Key just trying to be a brick wall here, stand in front of Songyun, soak up all of the tongue lashes, make sure that Orianna can stay safe. Be shoved back under the tower for now, but we will be moving in. And Songyun should be able to pick up that CS and be just slightly behind Ghost, it would seem. She will just be TPing back in the lane. Now has that lost chapter in the inventory.
More issue I see for Hanwha Life is that they have a very squishy center. Ryze will be okay in terms of tankiness, but Orianna and Kindred, not much beef between them. The Shen going to be building utility, and the Gnar going to be split pushing. Lava was on the Raptors. Trick trying to contest this one, but Lava will back away. If we see a big streamer shuffle here and a Azir sec play from the Azir, could actually be just so many people scooped up, and the front line from bbq robust and with some decent burst damage. Feels like if Hanwha Life lose map control, Tempt could just be the start of a big bouncy castle onto these squishy members of Hanwha Life.
And with Azir coming back into the meta a little bit, I think I'm actually okay with Yasuo bot lane now. If we could see a nice Shurima shuffle into a last breath, multiple people on the enemy team, that would be pretty nice. But otherwise, I think we just kind of kill off the Yasuo bot dream.
I think situationally it's okay, but I think some teams have been a bit too much on the hype train. I know yesterday Griffin was really loving the theory of the Orianna Yasuo, but I think in practice too unreliable to actually come up as a duo. They'll keep iterating though. Teams are trying to stay ahead of the meta. That's why they've been looking to other regions. We see the bot lane Orianna play here as another new thing when it comes to the LCK, and the LCK have innovated some stuff like the Zyrakan funnel earlier in the season. So teams just desperate to stay in front of the meta. Right now, scrim time at a premium because teams are playing 3 times a week. So a lot of internal scrims leads to a lot of mad scientists, and Hanwha Life have been among the maddest in the LCK.
Well, outside of that, First Blood's just going to be slow and steady as she goes for a little while here. Orianna got to take a while to start that scaling to come through. Ryze as well, just going to be stacking a tier. So unless we see the junglers get a little antsy, maybe just be pretty stagnant for the next little while here. Cloud Drake, not going to be too much to fuss about from either side, so not sure we'll see any fights around the dragon.
Kindred going to pick up the bot side scuttle to take, I believe, her second mark of the game. Could be first, I believe the second. Getting a bit of assistance here. We're not moused over the Kindred, so we can't tell you how many marks.
Looking at the Ashe. Okay, well, that's going to be a Cloud Drake started up. 3 members here. Rise, able to rotate, has the Realm Warp as well, in case he needs to get there a little bit faster. It seems like this is just going to be a very easy one-sided take for Hanwha Life. No contest at all from bbq, just let that Cloud go over.
Happy enough to surrender it. That means a little advantage to the side of Hanwha Life. We're seeing the Blood Razor built first by Seongwon, which gives him more Drake threat. Speaking of threat, Trick is trying to make something happen.
Yeah, gets a nice jump in there onto Linderong and does force the flash out. Is so far away from the Mega Gnar that just felt like if he got hit by a shockwave, perhaps would have just been the death of him.
Frustrating mechanic that a lot of Cho'Gaths have been good about abusing recently is the flash into instant silence and then the kill pressure onto a Gnar. So you're actually priced into early flashing against a Cho'Gath threat, and that kind of sucks because usually Cho'Gath the easiest to dodge. The Cho'Gath flashes first though, that dodge ability goes away.
Still sticking around, almost has Mega. And has Seongwon roaming up, so would love to bait Crazy a little bit closer into that tower, try to get the stun, block him down. But for now, try to escort this Kindred in, perhaps. Bounces to the side. Crazy going to be running down the river. The wall not going to connect, but he arrives to the Stand United. Now they pin him into the wall, and there's nothing that this Cho'Gath can do. The 2v3 seemed manageable. The 3v1, or 2v3. The 2v1 is manageable. The 3v1 is not.
3v1 runs him over. I'm not sure about the flash direction, whether you incorporate the fact that he was likely to die to 3 members or not. He flashed towards the river, but he didn't have any backup there, and also it was near a wall, so I think if you're going to flash, stay away from the walls as much as possible. Doesn't really matter though, Crazy goes down, he has to walk slowly back to the top lane, and now that Seongwon has enacted some control top side, he's already taken the bot side objective in the Drake. Let's see if bbq fight him over the Rift Herald.
Yeah, already going to be pushing him back. The pressure of that is here roaming up the rivers, enough for him to go ahead and abandon it before they even appear. So we'll just go ahead, start rotating back through the jungle. So 2-0. Hanwha Life going to be up about 1,000 gold in a Cloud Drake so far at 11 minutes in.
The Orianna bot against the Tahm Kench support is also a fun thing to think about, because when you think about lanes, Orianna, she can just QW. It's just about lane control. The dissonance having 2 seconds cooldown less means you have it for twice for a minion wave if you need it. Command attack already on a short cooldown. While Ashe has quite a lot of lane presence, the Tahm Kench obviously is a more defensive choice, and Shockwave can bring both of them in. It feels like a safe lane for Ori, even though her support, Shen, isn't really a strong laning support at all.
Oh.
It seems like a nice spot to do this Ori bot lane. Is Seongwon.
We have a standoff.
Yeah, they've been definitely
Well, they see
baiting
tapped
around here.
He's walked in past the ward. Trick sitting on top of the control.
Who wants to
Seongwon,
scuttle?
that's going to be the sweeper coming down. Seongwon takes a lot of damage. Still has a Lamb's Respite. Now the Abyssal Voyage going to be arriving. Bringing in a Ghost. TP being channeled out of the top lane. That's going to be a big burst of damage onto Trick as the Shockwave comes through from Songyun, but no kill to be found. Control ward going to get cleared out, and Hanwha Life Esports will be able to take the Scuttle Crab for themselves.
Flash on point from Seongwon, but now Tempt has used both summoners to try to make that play, the heal, to help Trick live through all of it. So 2 summoners used on the side of bbq, only for 1 in trade. On the side of Hanwha Life, Linderong chillin', all alone, making the play happen and building for lane with this Wits End build. We've seen a couple of top laners invest into. If Hanwha Life can just go back to chillin' and wait for the next key ultimate to make another big 3-man play onto an unassuming Cho'Gath, they're going to be pretty happy with how this game has played out.
Yeah, I mean, slow and steady for them is going to be quite nice. So just go ahead, keep applying pressure when they find the windows. Otherwise, just make sure that they don't give any ground over to the side of bbq. So a very nice start for Hanwha Life thus far. Key just going to be rotating over towards the mid lane, allowing Lava to get this push in onto the tower, and they're going to get a lot of damage in. Trick has to rotate into the lane to try to deny this. Pillar will come down. They're still getting auto attacks, and now Seongwon's going to be arriving. No Abyssal Voyage from Ignar. Yeah, they're just going to take this straight up. The back timing from Tempt. No summoners, couldn't really stick around. Just goes back. No one there to catch the wave in time, and they just lose it. First brick over to Hanwha Life. They stretch that lead even further.
It's a really good capitalization from Hanwha Life, but also some poor communication from the side of bbq. It's the first time in a very long time we've seen the Trundle look pretty helpless in a game. wasn't there to cover early, and obviously as Trundle would have limited ability to cover the lane 1v2, 1v3, and Achilles, the problem here for bbq is you think about where this game is going. We already know Orianna and Ryze have great scaling options. We know that Gnar at 2 items and building for lane is going to scale into a proposition that Cho'Gath won't be able to just shrug off. There is going to be an item timing here and also 5 points in the hyper where Gnar is going to be able to push in and control and take structures next to the Cho'Gath. And while some of the team fighting does herald some promise for bbq, the amount they've sacrificed already and soon will sacrifice in terms of control seems to mean that they may never actually get to a point where a normal 5v5 even happens in this game.
They at least have some decent pressure and damage onto the tower in bot, but see, it's going to be the Herald going down right as Trick arrives just to put a ward on it. It's like, oh, I'm too late again.
bbq
going to be pushing up the top where this tower's been chunked out.
This is all really good play from Hanwha Life. They're basically winning this game before bbq have even woken up. It's like the day has been decided before you even got out of your slumber here. bbq going to lose the turret, and ever since they pulled off the heist in the draft by telegraphing the Orianna and then being able to get the good Ryze matchup, things looked good. But here we go, big map play.
Stun in onto Songyun from the Ashe. Tempt goes forward. Songyun going to flash away, pops a dissonant shockwave. Will be dragging Trick in, taking him down to about half HP. Realm Warp just for safety. Well, escort Songyun back behind the tier 1 tower, and everybody from Hanwha Life makes it out with their lives.
Yeah, the big hits here aren't happening for the side of bbq. Hanwha Life able to disengage. Still got that Rift Herald. We'll see what they use it. Bot lane would be 3 outer turrets early. Here's a TP.
Yeah, TP's coming in to the back. For a lockdown. Lava arriving. The pillar
3!
comes in. 3 members going to be locking down the Tom Kench. Ignar does not stand a chance, nor does Trick. He will die. TP desperately trying to be channeled by Ghost, but he just can't get it off in time. He will fall. Hanwha Life explode aggressively into the bottom side of the map, stretching to a 5-0. Now summon the Rift Herald, look for another tower. They can just pick up a Mountain Drake at the same time.
And this might just be it. I know it's not going to be the game decided at this moment, but the amount of gold lead and control Hanwha Life have had is going to be so difficult for bbq to find a way to get back into this game. It's a 4,500 gold lead, but in every lane they have the outer turrets down. The draft also suits them as they get more items into this mid game. The scaling advantage on their side as well. We know all about the double teleports on the ward. Piglet remembers that, but the 3 teleports just make it a party in the bot lane that even Ashe can't get uninvited from.
Yep, tries to just get the hell out of there, but not fast enough. Now Lava coming up here to the top side where Linderong certainly has this lane in his control. Forces Crazy back, forces the flash out of the Cho'Gath. Ignar does arrive just in case he needs to devour him, but otherwise, things are looking very grim for bbq. Perfect game pace at the moment here for Hanwha Life.
Very grim is a very nice way of putting it. Achilles, thank you for coming here and removing some of the lewd aspects of this cast. We're definitely PG-13 today.
I know things get a little messy when you got 2 Aussies on the broadcast.
It's true.
So.
It is true.
That, and then you have Valdez over at Spo TV always talking about those big packages, but Corki's not in the meta anymore.
Hey,
so.
next patch, baby. He is back. So that will be Valdez's time to shine. 8-14 with big package Corki getting 40 damage on his E at level 1.
Oh, baby.
40 damage at level 1 is pretty insane when most spells do 60 to 80 damage at level 1. Are you looking forward to entering lane, face-checking a Corki and him pressing E and auto-attacking you for 300 damage? Really fun times. Well, Corki's coming back just in time for Azir versus Orianna. The meta, oh, so crazy.
Well, what do you do if you're bbq other than maybe put your head between your legs and pray?
You say, well, we have sick Wombo, and if we get we got 1 item, so they're definitely at 1 item power spikes. If you can outnumber, which was already tricky, maybe something can happen, but if you get outnumbered, it's going to be bad. Speaking of outnumbering, though.
Going to be the spine coming down. Streamer Shuffle does get the connection in on the Lava. They're trying to keep him alive with the Stand United, but he's still going so damn low. He's cutting his way into the back. Trick goes forward to try to finish him off. He cannot do so. Now the Devourer has to come down from Ignar, who flashes over the wall, spits him out. Tempt manages to put 1 on the board as Arise will fall, but Orianna, Songyun follows up, taking down Tempt. Hanwha Life maybe a bit too overzealous there from the side of Lava. They give up the perfect game, but they still have massive control.
But those are the sort of chokes that bbq's comp was made for, and unfortunately, because of the lead from Hanwha, the kills weren't registered. The command protect comes in just in time to delay the inevitable. It's a 1-for-1, but Hanwha Life still pushing.
Yep, still want a bit more. Linderong now not going to be exhausted. Building up. Looking for that Maganar ace. They try to contest this one. Nice. Rupture comes through. Knocks up multiple. Songyun got that blue buff low on mana at the moment. Incident's going to come down. Just get just strict and crazy, but seems like he can just go ahead and walk this one out.
Definitely the setup that bbq was looking for when they drafted this comp in their when it came to the fight they had on their red side, but it's because Hanwha Life were feeling so bold that they could walk up and make things happen. I believe that was the 4th stack coming through the Songwon. There's the extra 75 range on that Kindred passive. The item timings are looking great for Hanwha Life, and if they use everything and just get 1 kill, that means they need so much time to get into the items that will actually ravage this Hanwha Life team. And judging how they've played the first 18 minutes, I don't think Hanwha Life are going to let this game extend to 40.
Seems highly unlikely. On decent pace, even with a kill on the lava. Just go ahead and keep pushing this one into the base of bbq. 5,000 gold in the lead. Just shy of 20 minutes and complete control over both sides of the river as well as this top side of the jungle. They spot out that control ward, just can't push forward to clear it yet. A couple hits in. Blascone takes them back as bbq tries to advance forward. They know that that Baron is on the way, and Hanwha Life have already proven that they're very creative with acquiring that objective.
Some of their fundamentals do wax and wane. Hanwha Life can be a very intriguing team, enigmatic team to fully understand. But they pull away because Linderong's teleport's about 10 seconds away. Do notice that Crazy used his more recently. There's going to be a passage here where Hanwha Life should have Baron control, Baron wards, and also a teleport advantage. And that's where bbq may have too many things to respect and lose out on a big objective.
Songwon just not relenting, keeps pushing forward, finally does clear out that control ward, so wildly going to be in the hands of Hanwha Life as far as the vision is concerned in that top side. Now back into mid as Linderong applies pressure in the bottom lane. Realm Warp comes down. Lava jumps in underneath the tower, and looks like they're just going to go ahead and finish this one off, just in case Linderong needed some help.
Almost 7,000 gold lead now for Hanwha Life. They get both objectives. They don't have a control ward on the pit just yet because the Baron just spawned. The Baron, really the final nail in the coffin for bbq here, I have to think. They could find a way to creatively steal that. That would be big, but Hanwha Life have done so many smart things in this game from the draft onwards that I'm just sitting back and remembering that Hanwha Life were a team that was entrenched in top 4 maybe 3 weeks ago. They have struggled in the last 3 weeks, but if they're playing like this, maybe Afrika should be looking over their shoulder, given that 5th spot is not far away from Hanwha Life.
Hanwha kind of dipping down a little bit, whereas KT surging up towards the top of the standings. Couldn't get that win on King Zone, though.
Nope. Doesn't go that way. History held strong, and we do have these greater than chains when it comes to some of our best teams in Korea.
I blame the viewers for getting excited.
Oh, we know who got...
Valdez.
Exactly. We know who got excited. I made sure to call him out.
God damn it, Valdez.
He had one job, to not get excited. Literally, he was a viewer that day. He didn't even have to cast. It was just one job.
Should have had him as a caster, because then he would have to be unbiased so he could get excited about it.
You say that, but he does give his predictions and get excited on broadcast very frequently. That Valdez guy, I don't know.
Rarely ever comes to hang out with us. He gets excited.
Hey, come on, let's, he tries.
He was there last night.
He was.
I'll give him credit.
Hanwha Life kind of waiting for them to feel strong enough to start the Baron. The TP advantage from over Crazy is going to be gone in half a moment here. But they're pushing up everywhere. They say, why not a Cloud Drake in Hanwha Life? I don't know. Why not?
Sure. Let's take it for free. Songwon can just burn this one down very easily. He's got the Flood Razor.
Nice thing to see from bbq. The control ward line is actually pretty good from them. They had a control ward in the middle of their mid lane. They've just replaced it, but they're just trying to make it as aggressive as possible. When you're this far behind, you do, of course, have a sinking feeling. But what you can do is try to use control wards to get more and more of a presence.
Oh.
I thought they were actually considering aggressive play,
Yeah,
but that was actually the back from Ignite.
I thought that was going to be the Abyssal Voyage.
But you need to control whatever you can control. It doesn't feel good to need control wards to get, say, raptors or wolves, but that is where bbq find themselves in the game. The Baron is going to be tricky for them. They do have 2 blue trinkets and a Hawk shot, so checking it, that part's pretty easy.
Well, Hanwha Life now trying to fake them out. bbq saw their series versus Jin Air, and no better than just try to blindly push in. Especially since Linderong is still chilling in the bottom lane.
Always the problem of taking so many easy objectives early. They've even got harder objectives in inner turrets, but a lot of teams recently have gotten a 3-turret-to-0 lead and lots of marks on a Kindred, but not been able to move forward the game. I don't think that will be Hanwha Life this game. They should be able to find Baron speed before 30 as Linderong keeps chasing.
Ignar gonna get chunked down to about half HP. Now turns it around, gets some damage in onto Crazy. Jukes out on that Rupture, and now it's gonna be the Baron started up by the rest of Hanwha Life. Crazy might just get solo killed here. Linderong, he's going for it. One more auto attack, he's got it. Hawkshot comes down. Hanwha Life did peel off the Baron for the moment, but now there's no Cho'Gath to a right, no Feast to try to steal this one away. Trick is gonna have to try to go for it perhaps. Hanwha Life's still gonna be stuck in onto it, but they're not that tanky.
No, they're not that tanky, and that means that Temp could do a number, but here we go, the turn.
That taunt comes in onto Trick, but there's no follow-up here on the backside of Keen, but now Linderong into the backside does arrive with his teleport. Pushing forward, nearly gonna be losing out on that Mega Gnar. Will lose it here, will get taken down, but the kill off Trick as Hanwha Life manages to finish off the Baron.
You see how unclean it has to be trying to take a Baron with low tankiness early in the game. It's not necessarily the cleanest of plays, but they've done plenty of clean stuff, and Songwon says, I will have a mark, I'll steal that away. Plenty of marks for Songwon, but the Baron, the big claim. And 3 minutes of Baron buff should be enough for them to wreck this base.
Don't have it on Linderong for the split push, but clearly he was doing well enough even without the Baron buff, so I think he'll be quite all right with that. Everybody else gonna have it for the next 3 minutes. Hanwha Life tries to surge forward. Over a 10,000 gold lead, 9 at the moment.
Someone styling on the bill, going for our first Trinity Force Kindred.
Yeah.
In the LCK. Obviously, you can press your Q quite a lot when you're in your W, so you can see where the Trinity Force procs will come through. And it's a bit of burst, but I think it is an indication of the fact that they are very far in the lead against the, at the moment, number 10 ranked team in the tournament. The Mana Magi's and the Mana Trinity Force is what we're seeing here.
Leaps and bounds ahead at the moment.
The observing there was trying to show all the kills, but what you missed was they turned onto Trick, they were able to kill the Smite quite cleanly, then they took the Baron, and while people were falling low, because they don't have the tanks, as we mentioned, Achilleos, they do get all the objectives. So while it wasn't necessarily a 3-for-0 and the Baron, it still was the Baron pickup, much earlier than Kindred comps that have been frustrated around that objective still post 40 minutes.
Hanwha setting up for the push at the moment. Linderong going back down to the bottom side. Got the bot lane, hovering in mid, and then the last two in top. Lava, someone going to get that one pushed in. Linderong's going to get jumped on. Pops the stun. Ash Arrow going to get the connection onto the Gnar. He gets popped up by the Rupture, and he doesn't stand a chance. Will get taken down. But this is the price that has to be paid for a kill onto the Gnar. He tries to flash in, almost gets that taunt. The Temp flashes away right at the last second, but it's looking like an inhibitor in top, maybe the tower in mid, just to finish off Linderong. TP now coming in from behind. Crazy starting for the wraparound, hasn't revealed himself yet. Actually, just in on some wards now, just thrown down. So will not be able to find a catch.
Knew he didn't have any backups, so no point. Just go in and slowly die. bbq don't lose the inhibitor, but one inhibitor turret is down, the other one critically damaged. On the push there from Hanwha Life, those collapses we see against one person with Baron buff are really the only play you can make as bbq, but in a game like this where you're so far behind, you know you're going to take huge turret damage to try to make the play.
My heart just goes out to Crazy. He TP'd in and just stood still because he saw two wards come over the wall. And he's like, oh, okay. I guess I can't do anything.
My heart kind of goes out to Temp to, if you remember, in spring season was something like 0-8 on Azir, even though his Azir mechanics were pretty good. His team was just losing around it, and he's 2-2 and had a pretty good game on Azir here, but don't think it's going to matter when it comes to wins and losses.
Yeah, gone are the days of the Azir helping to extend things. About the 70-minute mark or so that we saw back when Jin Air SKT set the standing record of 94 minutes.
That is our second match of the season. It's in your contract to cast as many Jin Air versus SKT series as possible.
It's always you and I, it seems. I think I missed maybe one of them this year. So I think 3 out of 4. 75% of the way there. I think Valdez got the other one, which is fine.
Ignar got a wolf, so
yep.
He's got that going for him. 2.5 items onto the Ashe, but the Orianna is at 3.5. We don't even see mid lane Orianna's hit this many items at 28 minutes, so Ori's been free farming, as we kind of expected with the Tahm Kench Ashe matchup. If it's not going to be ganked, it's going to do just fine. Seongwon, no Trinity Force procs just yet, but very much able to push up the siege. We'll see if Hanwha Life can find a way to take down the 2 inhibitors. They don't have the Baron buff.
Gonna have Key, still trying to play forward, but not gonna be the tankiest Shen. Still pretty early in the game. Songyun getting a couple autos in. Let's work this a little bit lower. Someone comes over the wall. Fight available. Rupture not gonna connect, nor is the silence, but Hanwha Life will be held at bay. He's cannot finish off that inhib yet.
Right, a flash out of the Orianna, so that's a good feel, but that arrow will be on cooldown for a little while. Very hard to push into Azir Ashe without taking chip damage. They finally get the inhibitor. Was a struggle for the side of Hanwha Life. Maybe a second Baron's going to be required for them to actually close the game, because while you mentioned that Azir doesn't auto-guarantee that games go forever, he does help.
Still a ways to go before that next Baron comes up, so it might just be a stomp over at the mountain break for now. The second one. Couple in with those 2 clouds. But the likelihood of relying on an Elder Dragon seems like it probably shouldn't come down to that point for Hanwha Life.
The enemy team is choosing to fully engage in defense, not going to be looking for any aggressive moves. It's hard to close the game. That's the reality. It's not a mistake from Hanwha Life. The game hasn't ended yet. They really didn't have any agency to make it happen outside of a super risky turret dive, which could be the only way for bbq to get back into the game. So sadly, that means another Baron going to be required. That Baron spawns in a minute and a half.
8-3. So far, bbq just playing an objectiveless game. The closest that they've gotten would be a Scuttlecraft, which is, you know, minor objective, I suppose you can kind of say in this state of the game. But dragons, towers, none being taken by them. Just 3 kills, separating them from a perfect game.
Execution on the draft and the gameplay is enough for me. I won't call it perfect, but it's what I wanted to see from Hanwha Life if they truly are to be a team that's on the up from this 6th spot they find themselves and actually threatening the playoffs. They're actually one of the few teams to hold the chance to throw a spanner in the works when it comes to the current top 5 teams. You know, there are a lot of the big names in the top 5 and the new big name in Griffin. But Hanwha Life in 6th right now, they actually play against Afrika and Kingzone in 4th and 5th as we speak. So they have control over their own destiny. A 2-0 win over bbq and then a big result against those 2 teams. And then Hanwha Life really do set themselves up for their first playoffs under this org name.
That's what they're looking for. Dangerously close, but still a little ways to go in these final few weeks of the LCK. A nice 2-0 victory here certainly helped them out quite a lot. Had them up 8-6 with the Afrika Freaks, but still will be behind as far as their game score is concerned.
Believe it is 6 stacks onto Seongwon, so has that 75 range extra.
Oh, it's going to be an Abyss Voyage. bbq just constantly trying to pick on Linderung. He does have the flash. Arrow coming down, hops away from it. This time not going to get clipped. Blast cone over the wall, but he goes straight in towards Ignar and Ghost. Now flashes, trying to zip his way out. Uses that Blade of the Rune King. Will be able to stay alive. Now the Realm Warp comes in, just escorting him over to the Baron. It's already prepped. They will take that one down. There's a nice catch attempt, but yet again, every time bbq try to go kill Linderung, they lose something major on the map. This time, it's a Baron. Before, it was an inhibitor, but now we have a TP going up into the top side of the map from Lava, where he's looking to apply more pressure to the base of bbq.
And again, if you're results-based, say, well, what are they doing? They gave up a Baron just for trying to get a kill, but unfortunately, when you're this far behind, when the control wards have stuck around the Baron for this long, if you walk in, you're just slaughtered where you stand. They weren't going to be able to steal it. You want to at least remove a Baron buff, especially on a split pusher. They can't do that. So unfortunately for bbq, because of the sins of the early game, they lose everything. And on this Baron buff, I think Hanwha Life are going to be more decisive about closing the game.
Yeah, looks like they want the finish to happen here in these next 2 minutes, 40 seconds. Inhib, second one under fire, 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining before that top lane respawn, so still plenty of pressure going to be applied by those super creeps. More hits, Pillar coming down, just pushing Key back in closer. Seongwon not going to get jumped on. They still know that he's got the Lamb's Respite. He's got the flash. He's got so many ways to stay alive. And even landing a rupture on him is just proving to be difficult. Now everybody rotates down towards the bottom. Super Creeps starting to get over towards those Nexus towers. And somebody from bbq is going to have to respond. Looks like it's going to be Tempt.
2 inhibitors down, 1 inhibitor turret being critically damaged, and yeah, as you mentioned, here comes the super minions in mid as well. What happens here for bbq? Never feels good to watch your base fall around you, but we of course remember Tempt on Orianna using a shockwave for the first time as the Nexus exploded. They're being dictated to, but they're trying something.
Arrow coming down, Songwon just going to flash away from that one. Now pushing in a bit more aggressively, getting some damage in on a Crazy. In the meantime, Linderong and Lava take out that first tower. Now keep going forward, gets the taunt. First Divide pushing back, doesn't quite get the hits. And it's not stopping Hanwha Life from pushing forward for this victory. The third final inhibitor will go down. Sand Tower is up just to try to delay, but this Baron-empowered Super Creep is doing so much work.
Remember, the Sand Turret doesn't actually stop the Nexus going down, but they have the one Nexus turret that stops Hanwha Life starting on it.
Crazy flashing away, trying to stay alive. Second Nexus Tower will fall. The Nexus is going to be exposed. Key down to half. Ghost gets a couple hits in. Does work that Shen low. Flashing back, tons of damage going through onto Tricky, barely survives, makes it back over into the fountain, and Songwon pushes forward, the Lambs of Spike going to be thrown down. Hanwha Life not going to get any final kills, 8-3.